Hello and welcome to our reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the PlayArts Fullmetal Alchemist Alphonse Elric. So yes, there is also a PlayArts Kai version that is not this. These are smaller and older, and that is pretty much the extent of it. There will also be a bit of Ed in this video. I would do a full review on Ed, but my Ed is destroyed beyond all possible accuracy of reviewing, so I'm just going to kind of show him to you throughout the video. Well, not throughout, but like at a certain point. But anyway, these figures are alright. They're roughly the same size as the Revoltech ones, and I'll do a little bit of comparison later on. They're not as good as the Revoltech ones. Of course, they're earlier figures, and in my opinion, they may look better than the Kai ones. I've seen the Kai ones, and their arms are ridiculously long. I don't actually remember if that's an issue with Alphonse, but I know Ed and Mustang have really long arms and they look really weird. But they're expensive and I'm not going to get them, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and zoom in for the details, articulation, sculpt, paint, and all those sorts of things on Alphonse here. Alright, here we have Alphonse, and before I forget, we're just going to go ahead and do a quick comparison to the Revoltech Alphonse. As you can see, they are roughly the same size. Revoltech Alphonse is hunched over a little bit, but they're about the same height. Revoltech being a bit bigger. Obviously the Revoltech figure is pretty much better in every way. He has better detail, he has better articulation, he's a bit bigger. I don't know how much the PlayArts ones are going for right now, but I've seen them be more expensive than the Revoltech ones. So there's really no reason to get these over the Revoltech ones unless they are in fact cheaper. But Alphonse is not too bad. The other figures in this wave are not great. But the Revoltech ones I can definitely recommend. I've also done a review of them, so you can check that out if you so desire. Now let's actually look at the PlayArts one by himself. Alright, here is Al. As you can see, he's got his head, helmet up here, which we'll zoom in on in a minute. He has a big dangly rubber thing that comes off the back of his head. Big spiky shoulder pads here. Armor. He's got like some rusty kind of shading on his armor, and if he's got anything over the Revoltech one is that he looks more like metal instead of shiny blue, so he's kind of like silver and rusty looking, and has a better realistic effect, I suppose. If you come down to his skirty bit, he has some shading on that, and it is blue. He's got a little pouch strapped to his leg there, spiky knee pads, spiky things on his feet. At the moment, he has open hands. He comes with a pair of fist hands as well. Flip him over on the back, and you can see the sorts of things that you would expect to see on the other side. Now, let's zoom in on the head really quickly. Alright, here's his head. It pretty much has all the detail you would expect. It's got his mouth there, two lines under his eyes. His eyes are not painted, so there's no red glow inside like there probably should be. He's got the horn there on the top of the head, and he's pretty much got most of the kind of detail you would expect, minus the eye paint. So let's zoom out and look at its articulation. Articulation-wise, Alphonse is fairly decent. He's got a ball-joint head going in and around, all over the place. His shoulders will go in and out a bit, and you do have to sort of rotate them upward a bit, and the shoulder pads hinder it a bit, but it's not a hinge, it's like on a ball peg. Bicep cut, single joint elbows, wrist cut, waist cut, hips will go in and out, and go in an angle like that. He has a rotation at the knee and a hinge, although the rotation is hindered a bit by the sides of the knee there. And then he has a ankle rotation, which is hindered by the sides of the boot. And it may hinge, maybe, I'm not actually sure, but it doesn't bend enough for it to really matter if it does hinge. So yeah, that is the extent of his articulation. It is pretty good. You can get him into plenty of poses, I would say. Not as good as the Revoltech one, but I've already said that it's not going to be. In and of itself, pretty decent. Let's look at his accessories really quickly. Accessories-wise, he does come with some fist hands, which you can just peg into his arms. And he comes with this tiny yellow kitty. The kitty has no articulation of any sort, and it's pretty much just a tiny piece of plastic, but it's nicely detailed, has little stripes, has a face, all those sorts of things. And he can hold that or whatever. Alright, now let's take a quick look at Ed, and then we'll look at Al's packaging. Alright, here's Ed right next to Al. They have the same issue the Revoltech figures did, although it's even worse in this case. Al is either not as big as he should be, or Ed's not as short as he should be. So yeah, size not great, but you could probably make it work. Let's look at Ed by himself really quickly. Like I said earlier, mine is just horrible. Like, it's awful. All of his points are ruined and everything. Yeah, things like that. He's pretty horrible. He is just mutilated beyond all belief. But anyway, he does, after a lot of work on him, I've got him to where he can stay put together to a certain extent. His arms are actually supposed to come off, but I was just demonstrating him being very destructible at the moment. He comes with a bunch of extra bits, a lot of which mine are broken. His articulation's pretty decent. It's better than Al's, and you can get him into plenty of poses. I'm not going to really go over anything specific. He does come with a coat, and he comes with some coat arms, but those are broken. He comes with several extra hands, and he comes with a big spear that I don't have with me right now because it's in the box for my Revoltech Ed, because I was using it for him. But anyway, this figure, even if it worked properly, is not great. Mostly the head is a bit goofy looking. But anyway, that's just a quick look at this. I'm not going to do a whole thing on it because it's not functional. But anyway, that wraps that up. So let's take a look at the packaging real quick. Alright, Al comes in one of those big windowed boxes that you can also hang, a bit like a DC Direct kind of thing. Big window here, it's blue and gray. It says Fullmetal Alchemist and Play Arts down there at the bottom. Has some Japanese logo kind of stuff. And says number 2 Alphonse Elric. It has some stuff written on the sides. And number 2 Alphonse Elric there. Pictures of the figures on the back, which are Ed and Al and Winry. And some Japanese stuff that I can't read. I've seen a box that was laid out slightly different to this, but it was basically the same thing. Either way, these are good for in or out of package display. So yeah, Alphonse. Alright, that wraps it up for Al, so until next time, goodbye. Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe and all those sorts of things if you enjoyed my video. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye.